What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick.
I'm Jeff Grindstoffer.
Welcome to episode number 36. Did I get it right this week?
I think so.
36.
Yeah, it says 36 right there. So
36. Okay, I screwed up a couple weeks ago. Episode 36. Today we are talking about Flexi Vinyl. Whether the majority of this episode is going to be from Decibel Magazine, which we'll get there when we get there. Other things of other magazines, and then the solo stuff that we purchased through bands themselves. But they're flexi discs, not an actual vinyl record. Jeff, what do you got to add to that?
The flexi disc is technically a record because it is intended to be put on the turntable with a needle. The flexi disc is a distant relative of records. Yeah,
I love that. That's good.
And the thing about flexi discs, like, they're not really very common. So if you find one from a band, they're pretty rare. Like, I mean, I don't know what it costs to mass produce flexi disc. I couldn't imagine that it would be a whole lot.
It's not. It's cheap.
I would imagine it'd be cheap as hell. But yeah, they're you don't see them very often, aside from in issues of Decibel Magazine.
For sure.
So.
For sure. Yeah, shout out to Albert from Decibel, because it's a great way to get subscriptions to your magazine. I love it. That's the only reason why I have a collection here, and we'll get on there when we get on there. But Jeff, let's start this episode.
Let's start the Decibel. I'm going to go ahead and promote Decibel a little bit more. Back whenever I started collecting the Decibel Flexi discs, they had a limited edition, deluxe edition collector's box, and I jumped on the bandwagon and went ahead and bought a collector's box to keep all of my Flexi discs in these neat little they have these neat little holding envelopes for you to keep these in. See if I can grab one that doesn't already have something in it, so I don't give away what I'm going to talk about in the episode. But they're little blank envelopes to put your flexi discs in. Very very fashionable. Very I don't know. I'm drawing a blank as to what to say here, but I think since I'm starting to talk about whenever I started collecting these, I may as well start with the very first one I ever got from Decibel. I don't even know when this was. When did they start doing these? Back in like 2012 or 13 or something?
I don't remember.
What the year was.
I'll get to that story when I get to the first ones I got, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. The very first flexi disc that I ever got from Decibel came from Brutal Truth. This was God, I really wish I'd have looked this up. Did more research on these. This was a Scion AV, one of the Scion things. Remember whenever Scion was doing like the promotional, that they did something for Magruder Grind and Melvins, and they did several bands throughout the years. But yeah, I'm going to start off with 2 tracks from Brutal Truth, and I will go ahead and show the actual flexi itself. Is a clear flexi disc with two tracks from Brutal Truth. It has Walking Corpse and You Should Know Better. Pretty cool little item to have. Pretty cool way to start off my flexi disc collection from Decibel. Brutal Truth. Pioneers in the grindcore community.
For sure. I'll talk a little more about them later. That band, Brutal Truth. But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that you mentioned that's the first one that you got, because I have a story behind the first one I got and all the whys and all that. So cool. Hell yeah, man. So first one I'm going to start off with, definitely not the first one I got. I don't remember how long ago it was, but well, okay. So I remember they did like some contest for this particular one, and if you won the contest, you would get a test pressing of this particular Flexi, and it's of well, let me just tell you the story in general. So as you know, when you subscribe to Decibel, you get a free Flexi in every issue. Um, my issue came with this blank one, and I was just like, and I hit them up, and I was like, "Hey, you guys sent me a blank Flexi. Is this a test press?" And they were like, "Whoops, yeah, sorry about that. We'll send you a normal one as well." And I didn't have to win no contest. They it accidentally popped up in my magazine, but it's the Black Dahlia Murder covering Carcass's This Mortal Coil, featuring Jeff Walker of Carcass.
How cool is that?
So yeah,
Wow.
I have a test press of it, and I have the actual, one that's supposed to come in the magazines. The test press I keep in this little with this one as well. But yeah, I thought that was awesome. I was really happy to score that. I'm not the biggest Black Dahlia Murder fan, but I definitely thought that was cool as shit that they covered a Carcass song with Jeff from Carcass, and
Oh yeah.
nice piece of memorabilia to have, the test press of it, and the regular pressing. I don't know where I'm going to put these. It's not like they're going to fall and break and like destroy the record. It's a Flexi. It'll just bounce right back into place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got that and just thought that was really fucking awesome. I remember when we did the test press episode, I wanted to feature that and I could not find it. And I think
I remember that.
I ended up finding it because I was digging through my box of CDs and it was in there for some reason with a bunch of 7-inches. So I unearthed it and along with some other ones. I found one of the Agoraphobics actually, but not the one. Yeah. But anyways, moving on.
We'll get to the agoraphobics later on. Spoiler alert. All right, up next. Since I don't, we'll just move on. The next band I am going to feature. This is going to be a double. Fucking see who it is. Damn it! I didn't mean to do that. The next band I'm going to feature is Misery Index. Our very good friends in Misery Index did a flexi disc for Decibel Magazine in let's see if I can see the month or the year or something. 2022. God, my eyesight is bad. Does this look pink?
It looks red.
Does it look red? Especially like behind the white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My optometrist is going to hear about this, about my glasses not being well enough for me to read this. This is 2022 Misery Index. This is the Strategies of Manipulation flexi disc, and this came out in 2022. Doesn't say the month. This is a Holy Mountain. This was presented by Holy Mountain Printing. I can't remember. I don't know what issue or what month or anything it came from, but anything that Misery Index does, I try to have at least a copy of, and to have a flexi disc from Decibel from them was definitely something I had to have. Now, the next thing I'm going to feature for Misery Index, this is a cover of the God damn, what is the name of the band? I can't remember what band it is. Snapcase.
No, is it? Yeah, it is Snapcase. Yeah,
Snapcase. Yeah. They did a cover of Zombie Prescription for New Noise Magazine. I guess this was issue 45 or issue 28, volume 28. I don't know. This is definitely one of the more unique flexi discs. There's not a whole lot of them I have that have actual artwork printed on them. I do have a couple I'm going to feature today that have artwork on them, but this artwork is fucking ridiculous. Them as zombies. I really like Mark. Like, he has like no mouth.
Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, you can tell who's who there. That is awesome. Darren on the end.
Darren and Adam and Netherton, and it just it's a very, very cool cool little thing. I know they've done a couple different items with this artwork on it. Like, they did a skateboard with this artwork on it. I really want one of those skateboards. I want to get one and hang it up in the background here, along with my, Faith No More and 9 Inch Nails and all that. I'd love to get one, but yeah, not again, not a Decibel Flexi disc, but definitely a cool one to have in the collection from New
Sure.
And I can't remember. Did they ever release this audio on anything aside from this Flexi disc? Was it ever on like a compilation or like the?
Maybe.
I can't remember.
Think off the top of my head right now.
Yeah. A lot of pressure being on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Spur of the moment. With no research. Jeff.
You put me in a situation like Wayne put Garth in Wayne's World.
You ever see that movie Scanners?
Yeah, exactly. No, I can't remember. Missouri Index has done a lot of stuff. It quite possibly could be on. I can't remember the name of that record that both you and Jason brought me last year when I missed Hell in the Harbor, but it might be on that.
The Complete Control B-sides.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but
we are losing points with the Misery Index guys. They're never going to listen to their shows again. We can't hang out with them anymore. Jason's definitely never doing the show now.
All right. Some way I'll convince them.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Next one
I'm going to talk about, also presented by Holy Mountain Printing, is a band that is from my home state, but they're about 3 hours away in a little town called Ocean City, Maryland. Of course, I'm talking about Full of Hell. There you go. Thundering Hammers, is it Justin Broderick remix? I don't know if what does it say there? It's got their Bandcamp on the bottom, but
J.K. Broderick. I guess it would be Justin.
I don't know. There could be a J.K. Broderick and then a Justin Broderick. I could be totally butchering this, and some guy on the internet's going to crush me for that. So I don't know. Is there a year on this? 2019. Mix and master J.K. Recorded and mixed by Kurt Ballou. So I know who that is. That's from Guitars to Converge. But yeah, this came out around. I can't remember what album, but I have it slipped in with one of my 12 inches of Full of Hell. I love Full of Hell. They're a great band. They've released so much stuff. I have a friend on Facebook who he had everything at one point: cassettes, test presses, everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. He did part ways with a majority of it, but I know he kept a couple things. But I'm sure this isn't a rare thing of Full of Hell. People love this band a lot. I love this band a lot. They are crazy, amazing, good. Shout out to Decibel I think they put out a couple of flexis with Full of Hell now, but yeah, nice one to have. I love this band a lot. It's just anything I get my hands on from them, I do, and yeah,
great band.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any of their flexis. I really need to step it up a little bit. I got nothing Full of Hell from Decibel.
Sorry, bro.
I am definitely the worst co-host of Vinyl Bang today.
I don't know about that. You have a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about today that I don't have. So let's just move on to that.
Hooray! Yeah. Moving on from my lack of Full of Hell, the next band that I am going to feature is another band that has Mr. Adam Jarvis as the percussionist, talking about Pig Destroyer. I'm going to do a couple of different flexis from these guys. The first one, this one came out, and I was reading it while Nick was talking, so I could be a little better prepared. This one was from 2013. This features 3 live songs. This has Trojan Horror, Sheet Metal Girl, and The Bug, and these are numbered out of 1100. I believe that is 145, but it almost looks like it could be a 745, and I know it looks horrible. You can really see all the lights on my camera and everything, but I don't know if that's 745 or 145, because if it's a 7, then the 7's broke. And I'm just going to say it's 145 because that's a lower number, and that would give me more street cred. But yeah, 3 live tracks from Pig Destroyer from 2013. The next Flexi disc I am going to feature from Pig Destroyer is a song, or for the song "The Cavalry." This is from 2018. The Cavalry can be found on the compilation or the EP of the Octagonal Stairway. The song made it onto that EP. So if you have that, you know what I'm referring to. This artwork is awesome. I don't know exactly what is supposed to be going on here, but that is a cool. It almost gives like a Raiders of the Lost Ark thing with the melting faces and you know.
Absolutely.
But a cool cool little disc there from our boys, our very good friends in Pig Destroyer. We will have all of the band members on the show eventually. Before I'm done. The last one is not technically from Pig Destroyer. It's not from Pig Destroyer at all, but this is a tribute to Pig Destroyer from Decibel Magazine on a Flexi disc. This is a band called Trappist that did a tribute paying homage to Pig Destroyer. They did a song called Growler in the Yard. And I almost want to say that this was a beer of some sort. I don't know if it was by Trappist or if it was for Pig Destroyer or what, but you can see the growlers in the box there, and then of course the growler here at the bottom, right here. But yeah, this is obviously paying homage to the Prowler in the Yard artwork, with the brewing barrel in the background, the keg, I guess that would be. I don't know what exactly that's supposed to be. But yeah, whenever I saw this artwork and saw that it was doing a tribute to Pig Destroyer, I had to have it just because of the artwork for it. It's like a yellow print tribute to Pig Destroyer. Had to have it just because of the paying homage to Prowler in the Yard. So a 3 for Pig Destroyer. Good stuff.
Jeff breaking the rules with some band that's not Pig Destroyer.
I don't care. I mean, hopefully they're cool with it. And hopefully, like, Scott doesn't call me after this episode airs. Like, what the fuck? We didn't give them permission to do that. Who did that?
I think I remember Blake
Scott Hall
a lot.
Was he?
Blake would mention that band.
Yeah.
Trappist. So, no,
they're good guys. I'm sure they gave Trappist permission to do whatever.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Nice
Absolutely.
guys.
All right. So my next one is a band that Jeff had already talked about, but not this particular one. Our homies Misery Index. This was not presented by anybody, but it is originally a Sepultura song. It's Primitive Future. You can see a nice orange there. Got it in there. Primitive Future. Yeah, this is a really awesome song. I believe it's on the rise. Yeah, I remember Mark telling me that they did this for Killing Gods, maybe, and it didn't make it on there, so they eventually put it out on a Decibel Flexi, which, again, awesome. Anything. I guess I don't own as much Misery Index stuff on Flexi like my co-host here, which goes to show I'm a horrible co-host, because at least a horrible fan of Misery Index. Those are my boys, so.
Yeah.
Jason, hook it up. Yeah. No, but I at least I have this one, and I remember them telling me that they were going to recover this song, and I think Adam was the one who told me they were going to cover this song. But it was supposed to be on one of their albums, or maybe was it on like the CD version of the Killing Gods?
I think it wasn't the Killing Gods. It was Rituals of Power.
Okay.
I believe it was Rituals of Power. And the reason why I say that is because Ryan Mullins, a guy from here in Missouri, a very close friend of Mark's, guy that I've known for several years, did like mastered. I think he recorded Mark. I don't know if he did everybody or not. I don't know if he did that entire
Well,
track. But
I'm reading it right here, and it says recorded with Scott Hall at Visceral Sound and Ryan Vincent at Apollo Audio,
Apollo
mixing,
Audio. Yeah.
mastering with Drew Lamond and Steve Wright at Rightway. I know Rightway Studios. That's in Baltimore.
Mhm.
So, well, yeah, they must have recorded it at a bunch of different places. Adam probably did the drums. Scott, Mark
With Ryan Mullins is his name. He goes by Ryan Vincent, but he's yeah, that Apollo Audio guy. He's like an hour away from my house.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But and I'm not 100%, but I'm almost positive that was for the Rituals of Power sessions, not the Killing Guns. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive it was for Rituals of Power. But still, an awesome track, awesome bonus thing, and I believe that was a bonus track on the deluxe edition. They released the standard edition for everybody, and then they have like the limited edition bonus track stuff. I believe that was on the bonus tracks for Rituals of Power.
Yes. Something along those lines.
Very cool indeed. Very cool. I think I have that too, but yeah, not going to get into that. All right, my next contribution in the Decibel Flexi Disc. This comes to us from the. This was issued in the February issue in 2015. This is cattle. What does that say? Cattle. I was really hoping I'd be able to get through an episode without talking about cattle decapitation, but here we are. This is the track Cannibalistic Invasivism. Say that 3 times fast. Cannibalistic Invasivism. This was a, let's see, 2015. That would have been Anthropocene.
Anthropocene.
Yeah. This was a track that did not make it onto the Anthropocene Extinction. And the blue, obviously, I mean, it should have been a dead giveaway for what fucking album it came with, because it's obviously Anthropocene, because it's got the same blue tint that Monolith and Death Atlas obviously did not have. I mean,
I think they picked those colors at random, though.
Do you think? Really?
Decibel does, yeah.
Well, it's very fitting that Cattle got that color then for.
Well, I don't know. Reach out to Travis. He may know. He may have picked it. He's very particular about how his stuff looks. You know that.
Travis has no say in anything. If
No.
they said it would have been purple, he'd have been like, okay, thanks. No, I'm sure Travis did have some say in this, because that is a very Anthropocene looking color.
He talked about it in our episode that he spends a lot of time thinking and coming up with concepts for records and all that. So like, I know like he's got to have some sort of like input there. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe he was like, I want this blue to go along with the theme of the Anthropocene. So
yeah, I drifted in and out whenever he was on the show. Don't tell him I said that. I wasn't really paying attention to what he said.
Okay. This next one I'm going to talk about is kind of a unique one. This is a band that I'm very close friends with. What does this say here? Magic Bullet Records. This is presented by MagicBulletRecords.com. Iron Reagan, the Spoiled Identity EP. I believe it's 6 songs. Well, hold on. You got them all right here. Track 1, Tongue Tied. Track 2, The Living Skull. Track 3, I'm Regret. Track 4, Zero Gain. Track 5, One Shovel Short of a Funeral. Track 6, Spoiled Identity. My favorite one, track 7, Your Kid's an Asshole. Track 8, The Hungry Male. Track 9, Cops Don't Like Me. I like cops don't like me. I don't like cops. Track 10, Declaration of War. Track 11, Spit on Your Face / Grave. And track 12, Court Adjourned. Track 13, The Hill Witch. There are 13 tracks on this nice little flexi here, presented by
Wow.
Magic Records. Yeah, Iron Reagan. How about that? But a couple years later, A389 Records pressed it on a 12-inch vinyl. Absolutely zero bullshit punk hardcore crossover from Richmond, Virginia. Originally available on a limited edition Decibel Magazine Flexi. This sought-after EP is finally available back in print with 2 previously unreleased bonus tracks and a screen-printed artwork on the other side. This is the album artwork, Spoiled Identity EP. I'm trying to not get any glare in there. I have a gold pressing of this, and that's the
screen print.
There you go.
Yeah.
Screen print. I'm all tongue tied tonight. Yeah, this is really cool that they put it on a 12-inch. Here, anybody watching?
Oh, don't give that away. I want to get nobody take that. It don't matter. Nobody's gonna say it before I edit it anyway.
I'm sorry. I'm putting this away and I'm wasting a lot of time, but let me. I got one more to show you of them. New Noise Magazine put out a flexi of them. It was number 9 from Relapse Records. Take the Fall. It's a red flexi that I have of Iron Reagan as well. I think this came out around the same time as Crossover Ministry. So, yeah, I have quite a few Iron Reagan stuff. Like I said, I'm kind of friends with a couple of those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't talked. Some of them I haven't talked to in years, but
you got a couple tattoos from them, don't you? Or at least the one.
I do have one. Yes, I have the Crossover Ministry artwork on my lower leg there, and I know people are kind of scared of it at my job. One girl finally commented on it, and she's like, "Do you like worship the devil?" It's like, I don't. But yeah, Iron Reagan's a great band. Shout out to Tony and Landfill and Ryan. I'm trying to think of who else was in that band because I guess the other guitarist and bassist kind of bounced, and yeah.
No.
I don't know those dudes so well. Not like I know Tony, Ryan, and Phil. So shout out to those 3. Sorry, other guys.
Oh yeah, sorry, other guys. Maybe next time. Maybe next episode. But do our show anyway, because Nick's awesome. Oh, is it my turn again already? And we are ripping through these.
I just went over the flexis, then we're like pulling out the sleeves and showing everybody the awesome artwork that comes with. So
true. All right. So the next band I'm going to talk about is a band that just had awesome news. They just they've had a rough couple of years. This band gone through some lineup changes. The vocalist quit after their latest album, Hiss, was released last year. The vocalist left the band. And they had a replacement vocalist for some live shows that they did overseas, and I think some here in the States too. I don't remember. I didn't get a chance to see this band, but the OG lineup just got back together, and they were going to release a new album next year. And I'm so fucking excited for Wormrot Decibel Flexi Disc from 2011, because Nick was going on about Iron Reagan forever, so I had time to look. 2011. 3 tracks from Wormrot on a black flexi disc. Look at this. Look at this. With the red ink and the lights from my camera. Look at that. With the red and green. It's like Christmas up in this bitch. Look at that. Red and green and black and all that shit. So the tracks on here are Eradicate, Fuck, I'm Sober, and Vehemence. Vehemence. I never knew how to pronounce this word. I've never had to use it in a sentence. I've never had to use it in regular day-to-day conversations. Vehemence, Vehemence, of Denials. I believe that these were at the time unreleased tracks. They are released now because I just heard these songs whenever I was driving to work the other day after I learned that Arif and Fitri are now back in Wormrot and they're going to make a new album next year. And I am so excited for new Wormrot. I don't know if I brought that up or not. Wormrot. This was like one of the not obviously not the first Flexi disc because that was Brutal Truth, but this was one of the first ones I got, and I was so. Whenever I learned that Decibel was doing these and that they were doing these little Flexi discs, I got 2 copies. I believe I got 2 copies of this because back whenever I started collecting records 13, 14 years ago, I had this mindset that like I had to have one to play and one to hang on to for a rainy day. And whenever I posted online that I had this, Arif, the vocalist, actually hit me up and he said, "Man, I'd love to have a copy of that." So I sent him my other copy. I sent him the magazine and the Flexi disc. So Arif Rot, the vocalist for Wormrot, has a copy of this because of me. Or he just got another copy to sell to somebody else. I don't know. But Wormrot, 2025, new album. So excited for new Wormrot. New Wormrot fan, Nick.
I didn't know he rejoined the band. That's awesome news.
Yeah. They just rejoined like last week or some shit. They announced that the OG lineup is back. And whenever they had Vijesh on drums, we saw him at Death Fest 2 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember whenever we did Suffering Resurrection Productions. We did
that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
I guess it was pre-pandemic, wasn't it?
The last time you and I did we did Bird Flesh and something happened with the editing of that and we never got it.
Second time I brought this up, and this is definitely getting edited out. Make a note of this at 43 on episode 36. I quit editing videos. Second time you brought up Bird Flesh.
Except for when he edits these episodes.
The silence falls over the episode. So Wormrot in 2025. Very excited for new Wormrot.
Wormrot, hell yeah. All right. Cool. That was one of the first ones that I owned as well. I remember because when I was going through my small ones that I did set aside, that was one of them. Where am I? Okay. All right. This was the very first Flexi that I ever got. And I remember because this was the first one that I ever saw that I was like, holy shit, they do stuff like this. And shortly after getting this one, I subscribed to Decibel because I just thought this was a brilliant idea. Like, what a good way to market and get these people to get your stuff. So, Revocation, they covered the band Death, Pull the Plug. They covered that song. I got all the guys to sign it with a silver Sharpie, as you can see there. This is, I think, Phil, Dan, Tony, and Dave. Yeah, this was the very first one that I ever got. I remember just being like, I guess I'd seen Flexi discs before. When I was a kid, Burger King did these like Alf figures. They came with Flexi vinyls, and I remember I had one. So it wasn't the first time I'd ever seen one, but I thought that, years later, I didn't know people were still doing these, but more importantly, bands that I like Revocation. I was great friends and just a big fan of them. And, yeah, covering a Death song, probably one of my favorite Death songs too, or at least off my favorite Death album. Thought this was really rad. And, I brought it to them one night and they all signed it for me because they're just awesome fucking people, all members of Revo. But yeah, this was the very first one I ever got. Very happy that we talked about this because, again, Decibel Magazine. Like I have a box in there just full of all the issues that I've saved over the years because it's a great magazine. And at some point, I'd love to go through all those issues and possibly see friends of mine's photos in there. And it's everything. People I know, bands, and pulling out flexis like this because you never know. Sometimes you forget or lose track. At some point. The flexis weren't the important part. It was the bands that they were talking about in there for me. And Decibel Magazine is again, it's a brilliant marketing scheme to get people to subscribe because you get a free record in every issue, and sometimes when they announce who it's going to be each month, it's like, oh shit, that's fucking great. And like I said, Revocation, awesome band. Happy to have that. Very first one I ever owned.
That's cool. Oh yeah, you always remember your first Flexi.
Well, like I said, it was an Alf Flexi from Burger King. It was the very first one I ever personally owned. But when I started collecting records, like as an adult, that was the first one.
Right. Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And the thing about Decibel Magazine, I'm mentioned in one of them because I took pictures of Origin in the studio, but we'll talk about that later on. Origin in the studio and Flexi disc and shit. The next band that I'm going to do 3 releases for, I even put these in chronological order because I had time. The first one is from 2011. This was presented by Handshake Incorporated. This is an 11-track EP from Agoraphobic Nosebleed. Agoraphobic Nosebleed, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm going to talk about for the next 3 minutes because that's about all the time it takes to talk about Agoraphobic Nosebleed Flexi discs. 11 tracks, starting with Eyes Like 2 Piss Holes in the Snow. Song number 2, Hung Like a Stocking by the Chimney with Care. Song number 3, Santa's Got a Brand New Bag. It does say Santa's. I thought it would be Satan's Got a Brand New Bag. Number 4, Re-Gifted. Number 5, No Presents This Year. Number 6, With a Sniff and a Wink. Track 7, Rewrapped and Regifted Again. Track 8, Frozen Corpse Stuffed with Holiday Cheer. Track 9, Ghosts of Christmas Past. Track 10, Christmas Through the Years. And track 11, Little Town of Bethlehem. 11 tracks on an Agoraphobic Nosebleed Flexi disc. It took me 3 minutes to read all them fucking songs. The next Flexi disc from Agoraphobic Nosebleed is a track called Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And this is from 2012. A year later, this was presented by Mutants of the Monster. I don't remember Mutants of the Monster. Do you know what this is, Nick? Nick's not with us. Nick doesn't.
I'm sorry, I do not.
No.
The other one, the first one you mentioned was from Dave Hall.
Dave Hall. Yeah. I should have said that whenever I said Handshake Incorporated. But yeah, David Hall, our good friend that Nick and I have done a lot of work with over the years, a lot of video work with. David Hall, good guy. I missed that project. I haven't heard anything about Dave Hall in a while or Handshake Incorporated. But Decibel Flexi disc number 2 from Agoraphobic Nosebleed, Merry Christmas, and finally wrapping up this trilogy of Agoraphobic Nosebleed Decibel Flexi discs is the Honky Reduction, not reduction, not reduction like the original Agoraphobic Nosebleed EP from that Nick has the original pressing of. This is 5 tracks. 5 tracks. That is from 2015. This is track 1, House of Feasting. Track 2, Vexed. Track 3, The Withering of Skin. Track 4 is Organ Donor. Someone's Daughter. I'm sorry, 4 tracks, not 5. The apostrophe S in Someone's Daughter made me think that was track 5. 4 tracks on a Decibel Flexi disc from 2015. Agoraphobic Nosebleed, and once again presented by Handshake Incorporated. Look at that. Dave Hall has handed 2 of these 3 Flexis, which makes sense.
Shout out to Dave Hall.
Shout out to Dave Hall.
He hit me up a couple months ago. I don't remember. He sends me videos every now. I think his kid's playing guitar, so that's why he doesn't do too much projects anymore. But he's got a family man.
Yeah. That happens.
Life happens.
Life gets on the way.
Shout out to Dave Hall. He's a great dude. Really, always been very generous to Jeff and I over the years with project, including us in DVDs and stuff like that he puts out. So
sure. Yep, great guy. Miss you, Dave. Hope you're doing well, man.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can hear me if I talk louder.
All right. This next one I'm going to talk about, it's also one of the earlier ones that I got once I started subscribing, at least. I remember getting this one in the mail and being like, "Go to her, fuck yeah, I know those guys." Or at least I know Ben. Ben, I'm pretty tight with. This one is presented by IndieMerchStore.com. Go to her, covering a Motorhead song. "Don't Need Religion" is the name of it. And as you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see it, it's signed by all of them. It's kind of faded, but
they're there.
There you go. There's a couple of them. I got to get real close with it.
Yeah.
I had a shitty Sharpie with that night. Apologies, fellas, but they signed it. Yeah, I love Ben Falgust. He's an amazing human being. Been always really cool to me over the years. We talk shit to each other about sports. We used to text each other a lot about hockey because that man just loves to piss people off. But he's an awesome dude. Goat Horror, great band. God, it was just like every other month I would see either these guys or Soylent Green. And like I said, early on when I started collecting these Flexis, this one came in the mail real kind of early on, and I was like, oh shit, let me get these guys to sign it, because it's nice to have stuff like that, especially when it's a friend's band, and it's a nice piece of memorabilia to get something signed like this. So. Sure. I think right before we recorded this episode, Jeff showed me that he had this also signed. So great fucking minds think alike.
They do. And Go-To guys are great guys.
They really are. All, Sammy is a character, but I love that dude. He's really nice. Like I said, Ben is cool. All the different bass players that they've had over the years that I've done. I guess the drummer is Zach
Simmons, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't talked too much to him, but he's, cool guy. He's been nice to me.
Yeah, see, it's the opposite for me. I never really talked to Ben or Sammy. Zach's always the guy that I talk to because I've done so much work for him for Sick Drummer Magazine throughout the years. And it's like Zach's always been super cool to me. Been a great guy. He's been very accommodating, willing to get me into shows and backstage or whatever to hang out and film. And great guy. Shout out Zach Simmons. Shout out Goat Horror collectively. Great band. Great
man. For sure. What you got next, man?
All right. Man, we really are ripping through these. So this is the seventh?
Yep.
Seventh project or seventh artist I'm going to discuss on this episode. In 2020, during the pandemic, I believe, the drummer for the Melvins, Dale Crover, released an album called Rat-a-tat-tat. Rat-a-tat-tat, which I don't know if that's supposed to be a play on words or reference to gangster rap or what it is. I don't know. Great album. The solo stuff that Dale does is great. Always enjoyed Dale's playing and Dale's creativeness throughout the years. With the album, he did a flexi disc of a song on the album called Swiss Triplets. And I can't remember if this was actually on the album or if this was just like a bonus track that was included with the album because it didn't make the cut or there wasn't room for the song or whatever. One of the options whenever the album was released for members of the Joyful Noise Records community, which I was a fan of, or I was a member of for a while because of the Anal Trump albums that Joyful Noise had released. So I had access to get a test press of the Swiss Triplets track, and I got number 5 out of the 10 test presses that they did. So I also have a blank test press, and if I didn't have the sleeve to go with this, I wouldn't know what the hell this is. It was just a black No writing, no indication, no indicators, no nothing. Just a regular old flexi disc. And yeah, test press. That's worth even less now that I've shaken it around. It probably doesn't play as well anymore. But yeah, the Elk Rover test press. Very, very happy to own this. I need to have him sign it one of these days, whenever I see him again.
Oh yeah,
because we're friends. I've also done a lot of work with Dale over the years. He knows me. Maybe I'll bring a white Sharpie for him to sign it with. That way, it can really, it'll really pop on the
for
black
sure.
disc.
For sure. All right.
All right.
Next one that I'm going to talk about. I believe this was the second one that I got because I remember this is right before I pulled the trigger actually to subscribe to Decibel. What does this say? Bravado presents Decibel Flexi Series. Lamb of God hit the wall. Again, like as soon as I saw it, I thought that was pretty rad. Another Flexi by a band that I sort of know. These guys know who I am at least. But yeah, they I can't remember which issue this was either, but or which album. Let's see. This was 2011, so
Wrath?
mm-mm.
No, wouldn't have been Wrath.
Resolution. What is that album? Dissolution. Sorry, guys. I'm a terrible fan. I know. The one right before Randy got locked up in Prague, I believe. But this was like a B-side that didn't get released on that album, and boom, Lamb of God, fucking awesome band. If it weren't for this band, Jeff and I would never become friends. Yeah, this is one of the early ones. The very second one that I ever purchased, and I believe it was, like I said, it was after this is when I pulled the trigger to subscribe to Decibel, and now I have a giant. At one point, I had a stack, like right next to where I'm sitting, a stack full of magazines. But I bought a tote and started storing them in there because, I was literally running out of space. And
well, a lot of magazines take up a lot of space.
They do.
It's like the thing with magazines. Like once I go through and read it once, it's like it just gets put up, and I don't think I ever look at it again. Unless there was something really intriguing about it. But
yeah, when I was going through my box earlier today to see what I had, there's quite a few. I was like, damn, I didn't realize Pig Destroyer was on the cover so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was the one that you had. There's one that I got, and I thought it was numbered out of 100, and it was from the 100th issue show. And I remember Pete from Swarm of the Lotus got it for me, and Adam brought me back one too. But I think the one that I have is from Adam. But yeah,
Adam, AJ.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Yeah, but I don't know where that is. It's either in my 7-inch thing or somewhere else. But no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Flexis, they rule. What do you got last?
The last Flexi.
Wait, let me guess. No. Go.
Were you going to say the Beach Boys? Because that's what it is. It's the Beach Boys Flexi disc from Decibel Magazine. I have discussed this Flexi disc before. I will talk about this Flexi disc anytime anybody ever brings up the fact that I was on an Origin song. My voice is on this fucking Origin song on this fucking Decibel Flexi disc. Disease Called Man. That's my voice on this thing. And I got a bunch of copies though. got all kinds of shit. Albert, the great guy that Albert is, sent me a few copies of it whenever I hit him up, whenever this was announced that they were releasing this track on a Decibel Flexi disc. Albert said, send me your address, and sent me multiple copies. Gave one to my mom, gave one to my wife. I sleep with one at night. I have this one that I listen to. Yeah. Origin, Disease Called Man. This was released in 2023. under, I guess, thanks to Nuclear Blast Records. It doesn't really say presented by anybody. Engineered by Robert Rebeck, my boy Robert Rebeck, who, thanks to him, I am now a fan of Minsky's Pizza out of Kansas City, because Robert Rebeck always made sure I had to have a pop of Minsky's whenever I was at the studio with him. Great, so many memories in the last two Origin albums, hanging out with these guys. And the whole story, again, in case you didn't see the last episode where I talked about this, the way that this came to be, the first day that I had showed up at the studio while John Longstreth was tracking drums, I was talking to Paul Ryan. I said, so are you guys going to do any bonus tracks for, like, you know, the Japanese release or whatever? And he said, yeah, we're actually going to record Disease Called Man. And without batting an eye, I said, ooh, can I do the speaking part at the beginning? Because, of course, I know it. You know, I've listened to Origin for 20 years. I've heard Disease Called Man, the Agent Smith sample from the very first Matrix movie. I have it memorized from listening to it so much. And whenever I asked if I could do the speaking part at the beginning, Paul's like, I don't see why not. You know, we'll talk to everybody else. We'll see what everybody says, but I don't have a problem with it. And a month later, or a couple weeks later, I don't know, 2-3 weeks later, I was in the vocal booth providing my vocals for this track. And yep, that's me. One of the coolest Flexis I own, one of the coolest memories that I'll ever have with the band. And I'm forever immortalized on this on these orange Flexi discs. Pretty cool.
Oh yeah, man. I love that story. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Thanks.
Origin's a fun band. Jason was a very funny guest to have on. He was cracking me up.
Kaiser's a great guy. Great storyteller.
No, he really is. He really is. Oh man. That was one of my favorite episodes, thinking back to it. It's just because of, like, his stories were great, and he's a very comical gentleman, and just yeah, that was a fun one for sure. So,
and he's trying to give away all of his Blue Oyster Cult records, and I still don't think anybody's ever hit him up about his Blue Oyster Cult records. I think he's still got them. Poor guy.
Yeah. All right, my last one that I got is by a band that I am definitely good friends with. I don't remember. I should have done my research or pulled it out before, but there was a Cannabis Corpse album. I guess where the Northern Lights Grow or something. I don't remember which album it was. Oh, Beneath Grow Lights Thou Shalt Rise LP on Tank Crimes. This is there's two things here. This is a postcard. The song's called Blame It on Bud. And as you can see there, the little grooves in there on the back. Got all this cool shit. And then it also came with this Flexi with a little pot leaf in the center there. Cannabis Corpse, great dudes from Richmond, Virginia, Landfill, and his brother, Hall Hammers, Josh, Phil and Josh, the Hall twins. Yeah, this was a cool thing. That there was a lot of cool stuff that came in. This was a Tank Crimes release, and if you ever order anything from Tank Crimes, Scotty definitely puts together some cool packaging. But I bought this because I remember my co-host here had a picture that he bought this whole stuff set and posted it online. So I was like, I went and checked, and they still had plenty left, so I bought a copy as well. But yeah. Shout out to those dudes. I Phil still hits me up every now and then. I haven't seen Josh in a couple of years. I know he's a family man now, but Cannabis Corpse, great band. If you don't know about Cannabis Corpse, it's like Cannibal Corpse, not like all their first couple albums. The song titles were kind of parodies of Cannibal Corpse, but as time went on, they ran out of Cannibal Corpse titles to go with, and they just started going with just basic death metal band stuff, and it was very, very funny to me because
it's all marijuana related. To play on words, taking Cannibal Corpse songs and make them Cannibal Corpse. But here is the album. While you were talking, I jumped up and went over and got Beneath Grow Lights Thou Shalt Rise.
Yeah.
And my Flexi disc is in the box over there with the rest of them. But I also got Cannabis Corpse postcard
Mm-hmm.
with the marijuana leaf on the back. I
Yep.
was gonna send this to somebody, but I was like, I don't want my postman thinking I smoke weed. So, so I still have the postcard.
Jeff doesn't like being judged by his postmaster.
I don't like being judged by my postcards that are also records.
Anywho, Jeff, we have come to the end of our Flexi episode. Did you have any new purchases come in the mail or stop by any record stores recently?
I have not stopped by record stores. I should have. It's been a while since I've been to a record store, actually. I got to do that pretty soon. I have one new record. Hold on. Let me do the tedious task, which I always hate doing after episodes, and put all my records away. Oh, done. I always hate putting records up after we do episodes. It always takes forever. I have one new record this week that came to me from the UK. One record that got two, but we'll get to that in a minute. I got a compilation from Weekend Nachos. Weekend Nachos, We're Sorry for Real. This is a compilation of many different things that the band has done throughout the years, a bunch of splits and demos, all between the years of 2004 and 2016. A bunch of unreleased stuff, some live stuff, once again, some demos. A whole shitload of Weekend Nacho songs. It's like it is so awesome. I've been working all weekend. I got this Friday. I came home from work and it was sitting on the table with a love letter from my wife that said, "Stop buying fucking records or I'll kick you out." But I have not had time to listen to this. I am eager now that I'm not working tonight. Probably whenever we get off, whenever we turn the cameras off, I'm probably going to put this on and listen to like 3 songs and then go to sleep because I'm tired as fuck. But yeah, Weekend Nachos. It's the only new thing I got until the next episode. Hopefully by the next episode I'll have some goodies.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
Killer, man.
All right, let's see your stuff you got.
All right, I got a couple things. I definitely did get that 2004 to 2016. We're Sorry for Real. I'll show you what they kind of look like. I'll break out. So this one's the tri-colored pressing. Very beautiful. The center labels are great. There's John on side A, Drew on side B, Drew in front of a Taco Bell. These are all the splits in 7 inches and a couple of things like the Bleed EP, which is a 12-inch that was only 2 songs, the Doom EP that they put out. The Song About Tattoos, which was on a compilation. I didn't realize that when I got it originally, but cool stuff. This is the other pressing that I got. I'll show you the other sides. Sides C. That's actually Drew. I'm sorry, Drew. And Byron on side D. He's like feeding something to a deer in his mouth. But this one's kind of like a black or red with like black swirl in it. Both of these are limited to 100 pressings. Like most Weekend Nacho stuff, I kind of freak out and buy what I can because, like I said, this is a great band. They've always been very nice to me over the years, and I collect what I can of theirs. Awesome that they put that out. Next thing I got, an album by a band that I like to talk shit about a lot and make fun of. But when I was a freshman in high school, I think my sister bought this album for me on CD. And critically, it was their worst album. They don't like to talk about it very much. But for some reason, I liked it a lot. And talk about the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This album is called One Hot Minute. It's an album that they did with Dave Navarro, who is the guitarist of a band called Jane's Addiction. I don't know. This album was kind of cool. That song Aeroplane, Warped, My Friends. I think Jeff told me that the song Tearjerker is about Kurt Cobain. This was a Rick Rubin produced album. After this album, I believe Californication came out maybe 3 years later or so, but I did not care for them at that point. He was just making up words to finish a rhyme, in my opinion. But I did like this album a lot as a kid. I don't remember what I did with the CD. Maybe one of my cousins took it from me. But yeah, found that on vinyl, bought it. Last thing, I got it in the mail. This is the band Nails. They just put out a new album called every bridge burning. If you can kind of see, it's like embossed in there a little. That's the album artwork, but when you look closely with the light on it, it says stuff. It says there has their logo and that little and the title. Where's the label? This is the limited transparent purple 500 crest.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a really cool fucking record. I don't know if I could say I'm buddies with this guy. I've talked to him a handful of times when he was playing guitar. Maybe he was the bassist of Despise You. But his name is Andrew. He plays on this album. Yeah, fucking nails, man. This band is fucking great. I don't think they've ever put out anything bad. I have listened to this a couple times. It is fucking awesome. I'm very happy to keep continuing to add their stuff to my record collection. Seems like they put out an album every like 9 years or so, but I'll take it, man. Whatever Todd Jones wants to give us, I really like this stuff. Yeah, that's it for my new stuff this week. Because, like, unlike Jeff, I don't. Oh wait, no, I have one more thing. I forgot. Sorry, I have one more thing. It's not a record. It's not a record. It's a CD. Sully. We were talking about Brutal Truth earlier. Eric Burke, who played in Brutal Truth for a while, he plays guitar on this. My friend Adam Frappoli, who he was the singer of Psyopus, the first 2 albums at least from Psyopus. They're from Rochester, New York. Really cool. You can kind of see them there in that picture. I don't know. Yeah, I got this from Horror, Pain, Death, Gore, I believe it is. Mike Giuliano, if you know him, he works at Relapse. He's got his own little side label. But this is really cool. I don't know which is, you want to call it grindcore or what, but it's awesome shit. I love Adam. I support anything he does. But that is the last new thing that I got in. Yeah.
Oh yeah. To kind of recap, your new editions, One Hot Minute was the only album that did not have John Frusciante that I liked from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was the last thing I cared about from them, same as you.
Yeah.
Nails, Carlos Cruz is the drummer on this album. I am damn excited to see them. I'm going to see them a week from today, actually. Next Sunday in St. Louis. They're going to be in St. Louis. And I did not pre-order a copy of the album. It's been a rough couple of months financially, trying to play financial catch-up. I plan on buying as many copies on vinyl as I can at the show. Hopefully they have some.
They do. They're going to have an exclusive like light blue at the shows.
Kick ass. Well, hopefully they have some of those because I'm going to grab one of those.
I may ask you to grab one for me because I may have to miss the one when they come to Baltimore. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Look forward to seeing Carlos and seeing Nails again. The last time they were in St. Louis, like 10 people showed up and I filmed them and the footage got out and it's got like thousands of views as people just ripping into the fans of St. Louis because there's all 10 of us there. And yeah, it was a mess. So hopefully this time turns out better for Nails. But I am damn excited. Like I put off listening to the entire album. I listened to the singles that they released, but I haven't listened to the full album yet because I want to be like engulfed in it, whenever I see them live. So
yeah,
pretty excited. A week from today.
Cool. I'm excited for you, man. That sounds like an awesome show.
Thanks.
Well, that is it for this week's episode. Just under an hour. Yeah. Thank you for watching and listening. Jeff, you got anything to add?
No.
Shout out to Decibel Magazine, Albert, for all the cool ideas and just this episode wouldn't exist without Alex Chaw actually suggested a Flexi thing, but we decided let's do a whole episode because Albert and Decibel, we could do a full episode on this. So shout out to Albert, shout out to Decibel, shout out to all the people that work there that we may know. Macklin Bean, he's a photographer for them.
Yeah, shout out Albert and Macklin and Chaw and Santa Claus.
Santa. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to everybody.
Don't forget Santa Claus.
Well, I mean, we did that Agoraphobic Christmas album. So, it's like it's September and it's cold and
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's who they want to check out.
Albert Mudrian. All right.
Albert fucking rules. Yeah.
Albert rules. A great guy. Love Albert. Shout out to Albert.
Yeah. Thank you. If it weren't for Albert, we wouldn't have been able to do this episode. So.
Correct. Good guy.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week.
All right. See you guys.